Hello and welcome to Prego Coding Classes. This is Amber Roy, and in the previous videos I have shown you how to design the app and how to implement the Firebase in our app. Now in this video I'm going to actually sign in the user and sign up the user both. So if you have not seen my previous videos, go and check them out first, then come back to this video. And without wasting any time, let's get started. So as you can see here, I have already initialized all the variables for the buttons, edit text, text view, and I have also casted them in a different method. So I have called this method in the onCreate. Now if you don't know what are these, how I'm doing it, please refer to my previous videos, the first tutorial videos, then you'll understand this. And as I've initialized everything, now it's time to work with Firebase. And for that we will need to initialize the Firebase auth variable. So we'll select Firebase auth and we'll name it register activity Firebase auth. Now what we need to do is we need to get an instance of this Firebase auth variable. So hit register activity Firebase auth equal to capital F Firebase auth dot get instance. Now this variable will work as Firebase authentication. Now we'll need to get the email ID and password in a separate variable. So we'll use string user email string user password. Now user email equals register activity email ID dot get text dot toString dot trim. Now this will get the email ID. So in the password user password equals register activity password dot get text dot toString dot trim. That will get the password, or we shouldn't use trim because the user has the independency to use a space in that password also. So that's it. Now we need to create a separate method. So we'll name it private void sign up new user string email ID string close it. That's it. Now what we need to do is we need to call this method in the onCreate. So sign up new user. So we'll pass the email ID and pass the password. So that's it. Now we'll work in this method itself. Now we'll create another method to check if the password length is minimum 8 digits long, and for that we need to initialize a boolean method. So check password length string password open close brackets. Now what we need to do is if password dot length is less than 8, return false, else it will return true. That's it. Now we need to call this method here. Check password length Word is true. So then it will initialize the sign up new user method, else it will set an error. So register activity password dot set error. Error would be enter a minimum password. That is the error it will show. And when the password is checked, now it's time to sign up the user. So Firebase auth dot create user with email and password. You should select this one. So create user with email and password. First it needs the email ID. Now it needs the password. Now we'll attach on complete listener, and within brackets we need to write the capital O, then on complete listener, hit the tab, and it does all by itself. Now it is showing an error because it needs a semicolon, but we won't give it because we need on failure listener also. Now I have seen other creators. I'm not being very sarcastic, but I have seen other creators doing an else with the task dot is successful and then showing the error, and that is a custom error. But I don't want to show the user a custom error because Firebase handles the error by itself and it throws an exception. I need to show the exact error or the exact exception that is going on with Firebase. So I need the user to know what is exactly wrong with the registration process. So where it is asking a semicolon, we'll put a full stop, then add on failure listener, new on failure listener, and we'll use this exception. So underneath that, you can give a semicolon now. Now we'll use if task dot is successful. Then we will use a toast message. So hit tab very quickly for 2 times and it does the widget completes everything by itself. So we'll write here successfully, or let's write I need the user to also verify his or her email. So let's write here let's write nothing, rather let's send the authentication email first. On failure we need to write a toast message. Now get rid of the double braces and we'll use e dot get message. So this shows the exact error that has occurred with Firebase. Now we need to create another method that will send the authentication email. So send authentication email. Okay. Now we'll send the authentication email to the Firebase user. So Firebase user my user equal to Firebase auth dot get current user, as the user has signed up already. So it is completed, signed up process is completed. Now you can use the Firebase user to send the authentication email. So my user dot send verification email, and that's it. Now we'll use the toast over here, verification email sent, please verify. Now we will call this method over here, send verification email, and that's it. That's it for the registration process. Now what did I miss? Yes, the register button, and okay, I did a mistake over here, so I need to call this method in the button itself on the on click method. So register button dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. That is done. Just copy and paste. So we have shifted everything within the on click method. Now this needs to be above everything. So we need to create an on click listener on the sign in text view. So this is for the users who are already signed in and have reached the register activity. So register activity sign in dot set on click listener new view on click listener. So we'll change the activity to login activity. So start activity new intent. Alt enter on this one. So register activity dot this to login activity dot class and finish this activity. So we will finish the activity, we'll kill the register activity, then we'll migrate to the login activity. And that's it, I guess. Yes, that is it. We don't need to do anything else. Now what we need to do is we need to run the program and see if it works or not. Before starting the program, I need to make two more changes. That is, when the authentication email has been sent or the verification email has been sent, I want to change this activity to login activity so the user can log in. And for that, I need to start the activity new intent register activity dot this login activity dot class, then finish the register activity. Now that is done. So when you run this program, as you know that my initial primary activity is my splash screen activity, and it will check for the user first, then it will change the it will decide that if the user is new or the user has already logged in before also. So I don't need that splash screen activity to fire up right now. So I'm opening my Android manifest, and the intent filter, I'm going to switch it to my register activity. So copy this one, then you can make the changes as I'm doing. So after the registration activity, need to paste that intent filter. So when it is done, the registration activity will fire up in the initial as a main program right now. So let's fire it up and check it how it works. So as you can see, our registration activity has been fired up. Now we'll put our email. My email is Prego softs at gmail.com. Now you can also send your requests for source codes in here, but that would be a paid source code, so you need to pay for that. But for now, I'm just registering my email ID. So I'll just put a password. Remember, I put a condition in my registration method that if the password length is less than 8 characters, it won't carry on forward. It will show an error. So just let me give 1, 2, 3 and check. So it shows an error at the right. Enter a minimum of 8-digit password. So let's give it a password of 7. It needs an 8 only. Okay, one more thing to check is the on failure listener. So just give it a random email ID, or I'm not even giving an at sign, and I'll give 8 character password. Now hit register. So when you hit register, the toast message pops up with an error handler that has been sent from Firebase itself. Let's hit it again. The email address is badly formatted. Let's hit at. It still shows an error. So you don't need to format the, or don't need to give any other condition for the email. You can show the user from the Firebase error handler. So I'll give PregoSoft's email ID. My password is 128. Now let's hit register. It will take some time. Verification email has been sent, and it changes the activity to login activity. Now that the verification email has been sent, I'll check my email if the email has come over there or not. So this is the email that has come from Firebase. Let's click it, and there is the verification link. So when you click this one, you are successfully verified now. Now we are going to open our Firebase console, then the user part, and we'll refresh this page to see if the user has been added to our Firebase authentication or not. So pregosofts@gmail.com has been added and has been assigned an user ID. Now this is a unique user ID. We need to work with the user ID in the next videos. So for now, this is it. And in the next video, we'll continue with the login process, and also to check if the user is verified or not. If the user is verified, then only the user can log in. Else the user has to verify first, then the user can log in. So this is it. Thank you. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Actually, if you subscribe more, it motivates me to make more videos like this. And that's it. Thank you.